Students, hey, good morning. It's nice to see you. I've got on my Bugs Bunny shirt this morning because I love Warner Brothers and Bugs Bunny cartoons. I teach an animation class for Sanense, Yonense, something like that. If you ever get a chance to take my animation class, please take it because it is so much fun. All right, again, Bugs Bunny, yay, one of my favorite characters. All right, today, first let me say thank you very much for taking care of the homework that you did. That homework was reading about millennials. Now there's a word I want you to remember, millennial. All right, so for America, ideas, facts, and opinions. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so about millennials, notice the great ethnic diversity here shown in this photo. About millennials, millennials are Americans from the age of 18 to 35. Compared to the generations before them, millennials are stayers rather than movers. They have been living at home and staying longer than the generations before them. And most of this is, and I think that the reason for this is mostly lack of economic opportunity elsewhere. All right, so that's why millennials stay kind of near where they were born or where their parents live. In this video, this part of the video today, I'm going to talk to you about the USA, good and bad places. Where do people like to live is the big question. All right, there are good places to live, there are bad places to live, and if there are bad places to live, why are they bad? And the answer is usually because these places have violent crime or a lot of drug use. Okay, this is the map that you've really grown to know and love. These are the major cities in the United States. Number one city in population is New York City. Number two is Los Angeles. Number three is Chicago. And number four is Houston. Please note that these four cities represent the four major regions of the U.S. New York City represents the Northeast. Chicago represents the Midwest. Los Angeles represents the West. And Houston represents the South. These other red cities are also very large in population, but they're not as humongous as the cities that are in blue. All right, America's most popular big cities. 43%. Now this is a 2009 survey. Sorry, this survey is about 10 years old, but you know, America's most popular cities. 43% say that they want to live in this city. San Diego is also very popular. Seattle is popular. Orlando, you remember Orlando. Orlando is the home of Disney World in Florida. Tampa is in Florida on the Gulf Coast. San Francisco, maybe the most expensive city in the United States to rent a home in. This is a really popular place to live. And also Phoenix. Why is Phoenix so popular? It's hot as hell. Why is it so popular? It's because it's got very mild winters. All right, so let's go back. Ah, there we go. There's a little pop-up. That's so cute. So Denver and San Diego and Seattle, they all get big smiley faces. What else? Miami, that's not Miami. Come on. This is Orlando, the home of Disney World. And this is Tampa. And what's next? And of course, that's Miami right there. Anything else? Get a smiley face? Ah, San Francisco gets a smiley face. And Phoenix. Yay! So, the smiley faces, those are the cities that people say, yeah, I'd really love to live there. All right, now let's take a look at the 2009 survey of the least favorite places to live. Oh my God. Now, I want you to note that all of these are in the Midwest. Yes, all of them are in the Midwest. St. Louis, people are leaving St. Louis. Pittsburgh, Minneapolis. Minneapolis is, I always remember that because my sister lives there right now. Kansas City, Cincinnati, Cleveland. These places are just bleh, yada. So let's see, where are they? Midwest, Detroit and St. Louis, Cincinnati, I think. Those crappy places to live in Ohio. Um, that's Kansas City right there. St. Paul, Minneapolis. So that should give you an idea of the places that are just not favored. And again, please remember that people are leaving the Midwest to move to Florida and to move out west. All right, next, we're looking at dangerous cities. The three most dangerous cities in the U.S. are Detroit, St. Louis, and New Orleans. Detroit, St. Louis, and New Orleans. They have very high homicide rates. That means murders. People get killed. So where can we find Detroit, St. Louis, and New Orleans on our map? Ready? Here we go. There's Detroit. Ah! And there's St. Louis. And down here is New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is a dangerous city, but it's got some of the best food in the United States. So New Orleans is still a city that I think is really worth going to. Okay, so that's it for a look at the good cities, the bad cities, and the most dangerous cities in the U.S. Now, let's take a look at where did America get the states from? Okay, this is a little bit of American history in map form. Okay, over here, you've got the original 13 colonies from 250 years ago, stretching down here to South Carolina and Georgia, I think. So, these are the original 13 states' territories. Over here, most of the Midwest and some of the northwestern states come from the Louisiana Purchase that America paid France for France's claim to all of this area. So when they did that in 1803, it effectively doubled the size of the United States of America. And that is super cool. All right, some other things that America did. America was on a roll. America's like, okay, well, if it's in this area, if it's between the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, it's gonna be ours. They called that manifest destiny. That was the term that we learned in school when we were kids. Manifest destiny was the term used to describe America's obsession, attitude with getting all the land that they could from the Atlantic to the Pacific. And they did it slowly but surely. This little area up here at the top, that area was ceded in 1818. And down here, Spain gave up this in 1819. West Florida and East Florida, all this area, Spain said, okay, you can have it. So Spain has given up its territory. France has given up its territory. Texas in 1845, Texas was a country unto itself after it fought a war with Mexico. And they gave up their land. They said, okay, we'll join the United States. Over in this area, California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, all of that was taken by the United States from Mexico. And this up here, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, this area that was known as the Oregon Territory, and England had the claim to this, and England decided, okay, we'll give up and we'll give it to the United States. Alaska was bought from Russia. And we got Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands from Virgin Islands we got from Denmark, and Puerto Rico we got from Spain in 1898. Next, let's take a look at the topography of the U.S. What does that mean? It means, where are the mountains? Where are the flat areas? Where are the big bodies of water? I've conveniently labeled this for you. A, over here, this is the California Basin. This is where California grows, its cauliflower and, all the California vegetables and fruits. They're all grown in this area. The B section here, these are the Rocky Mountains. And the population of the United States is not so great in this area because nobody wants to live on top of a mountain. Not most normal people. Okay. Down here, from here all the way down through C, this area is known as the Great Plains. Hara, plains, Plains. D are the Great Lakes. This is Lake Superior up here, Lake Michigan, and then there are three others whose names I always get confused. But, these are important in the same way that Lake Biwako is important in Japan. It's Japan's biggest lake. Well, up here, these are America's biggest lakes. All right. And over here, this E section, these are the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains stretch from New York all the way down through Georgia. So most of West Virginia, and this is coal mining country in the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian Mountains are really small and not much smaller and less high, sorry, lower than the Rocky Mountains. Okay, another cool map for you to take a look at. In Japan, you've got the mega regions. You've got like Chiba and Tokyo and Yokohama. That's a mega region, right? You've got, what do you call it? Kyoto, Osaka, Kobe is a mega region. These are some of the mega regions of the United States. I told you last time about Boss Wash. That extends from Boston all the way down through Washington. All right. These are the Great Lakes. This is the Great Lakes mega region. It includes Chicago and all those cities that I said were not really very good to live in. Down here, you've got the Gulf Coast, which stretches from Houston all the way down through Tallahassee, the capital of Florida. It includes Biloxi and New Orleans. Over here is the Texas Triangle, which includes Houston and Dallas and Austin and places like that. Northern California, there's a big cluster up here, very different from Southern California, which stretches from Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego, includes Los Angeles and Orange County, and that corridor goes all the way up here into Las Vegas. Although it's not very densely populated in this area. There's just a big major highway that goes through here. All right. So these are some of the major mega regions of the United States. Okay, sorry that this is so fuzzy, but this is a kind of useful graph, I think, talking about the urban population as a percentage of U.S. total. What's important here is that you note, okay, up here you've got the rural area, down here you've got the urban area. So when did America become an urbanized nation? Well, that really happened at this point, around 1920. By 1920, you had half of the American population living in urban areas, and the other half still living in rural areas. Today, this is not even today, this is still 20 years ago, you have, oh my gosh, That's like, this is absolutely Sanbun no Ni, almost 80%, really, almost 80% of Americans in 2000 were living in urban areas as opposed to rural. And I read an article in the Wall Street Journal just the other day that said that in the last 10 years, the number of actually in the last 2 years, because of coronavirus, the number of people in urban areas has decreased because people are getting out of populated cities in order to stay safe from the coronavirus. Okay, students, one last thing is I wanted to show you this neat map that I picked up about New York City. This is a 3D map of New York City. Isn't this cool? This talks about the population density in 2010. Now, there are 5 boroughs of New York City. When you think of New York City, you are always thinking of Manhattan, because Manhattan has Central Park and Times Square and the 9/11 Memorial. So, when outsiders think of New York, they're always thinking of Manhattan. Wall Street is down here too, okay? But there are 4 other boroughs, a couple of which are very heavily populated. Brooklyn used to be a separate city from Manhattan and the rest of New York. And Brooklyn, there are lots of people living down in Brooklyn. Over in Queens, you've got a large population. Uh, the Bronx is a really cool area. Some of the toughest, coolest people that I've ever seen on Instagram come from the Bronx. I'm talking about, well, I'm not going to say their names, but the Bronx is a really cool area. Bronx is where hip hop was born. And over here is Staten Island. Staten Island is really, really sleepy compared to the rest of New York City. It's very super residential. You don't have lots of businesses here or restaurants compared to these other 4 boroughs. So when you think of New York City, you're always thinking of Manhattan, but the point is, New York City is actually much bigger than what you're thinking, and it includes all 5 boroughs. This is how it looks in 2-dimensional map form. Manhattan, and up here is the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. All right, I think that's enough for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please do the activity underneath this video, and have a great day. Bye.